the other at a later time. My name is John Owens. I work with a lot of sports down in Southeastern and do a lot of stuff on Dragonfly. And also I work as a certified trainer and observer in U.S. lacrosse for both the men's and women's games. So that's kind of my background. We're going to get started. You didn't come to hear about me. You came to hear about Dragonfly. So let's get started. All right. First thing we got to do is we got to log into Dragonfly. All right. So before we do that, I want to show you some helpful hints. So let me share my screen so you can see where I'm at. All right. Share. All right. Someone nod their head or say yes in the chat saying you can see me or you can see my screen. And keep nodding because all of your face went away. You can see it. Good. Thank you. All right. So when you go to Dragonfly Max Original, you're going to come up to this website. All right. Normally you just log in. This is all you do with it. All right. But this button, it says resources. And if you hit Dragonfly Academy, all right, you'll see that you have 4 different options. You click officials.
I don't get why it's not working on my laptop.
What part's not working, Shay?
I can get the audio on my phone, but I can't get it on my laptop.
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, through my phone. You're
Okay.
fine. I'll just have to go back and forth.
Okay. All right. So you'll see here, and it will give you little videos on what. So if you wanted to figure out how do I put a block in, start course. All right. It'll give you a YouTube video that shows you how to do it, or you can hit print instructions and it will give you a screenshotted view of each step of the process. So if you forget something or you just need a reminder, you can go to the Academy, Dragonfly Academy under resources on their homepage, and it will give you the options of different steps. So that's just a resource for you to use in case you forget how to do something and you need a refresher of this course. All right. Now, so let's go in and log in. Now, one thing, when you log in, you're going to come to this homepage. Ignore this side of the screen for right this minute. All right. Now, over here, you're not going to have this where it says administration. All right. Over here's what we're looking at. Complete my registration. All right. This is where you will do all your registration, taking of tests, checking to make sure you have fulfilled all the requirements. It'll give you a bar up here that will let you know. All right. So first, your demographics, that's basically information about yourself. Make sure the sport you are working is up here. If you want to update it, you will just hit confirm sports and you can add a sport by clicking on it. Then you would hit save. Concussion in sports. If you, and there's multiple regional supervisors on here, they can correct me if I'm wrong on this. But if this is red and you took the concussion in sports in the last year, I think you just have to send them a copy of your certificate. Any regional supervisor is unmute and tell me if I'm wrong. Seeing none, I'm going to proceed. All right.
Well, I think you might be wrong.
Okay, Ernie, what is it? Because like I said, I'm not included in that.
I want to say that the new one was required to have been passed last April. I might be wrong there myself, but I seem to remember that everyone had to do a new one. I might be confused with U.S. Soccer, but that seems to be my memory. So you're just going to have to check to find out what the date is. I don't know if yours has a date in it. Click on yours to see if it showed a date.
It's 21, Ernie.
Was it 21?
Yes.
Okay, then I stand corrected and
It was
Okay.
5/16, May 16, 2021.
okay. All right. I was close, only a year off.
So if you click on it, it'll give you the date that, since Ernie brought that up, like mine was complete on 5/24/22. But if you've not done this, this is going to show up red. If you click that button and it's showing up red, it's going to take you to the website where you can take that class directly straight from Dragonfly. All right. If it's showing up red, I highly suggest you do it this way instead of the old way of going to the NFHS Learn website, because then this will pull it straight for you. All right. So then you'll see your exams. All right. As you can see, I got to take the boys exam, the baseball exam, softball exam, and the soccer part 2 I don't have to do because I took part 1 in the fall. So that's where you would start your test. So if you want to start your test, and I'm just going to open baseball because I haven't opened it yet. I highly suggest that even if you're not going to take that test, as soon as possible, get in there, open that test, and make sure it opens for you. And then you can always come back and take it later. But the problem is you want to make sure it opens and you can start it. All right. You can just click save and exit. Yes, save and exit. And it's going to take you right back to your home page. All right. Then down here is where you make sure your associations, you select where you are associated with. Okay. If you have a blank, it will show up down here and say select your association. Background check, you need to click that red. You have to authorize a background check that's done yearly. And that's got to be green in order for a regional supervisor to assign you. Your registration fees, this is where it'll show you what you paid or how much you owe. To pay it, you just hit the button where it'll be red. You'll just hit pay. Any questions on registration process? Any question on the registration process?
John,
Yes, sir.
stand by just a second. A few guys can't get in because of the passcode. They've texted me and emailed me. So I'm trying to get that. I sent something to JJ. But I mean, all these guys have done it, have already registered. So before you proceed, just give me about 30 seconds. If JJ can send that to me, I'd appreciate it. I have about 3 people right now trying to get in.
Someone's got their hand raised. Whoever Daniel's iPad is, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I'm new to the North Carolina sports. So
Okay.
when I first went into Dragonfly, I clicked on I checked women's lacrosse and women's basketball. But I'm not gonna do basketball until next season. But I mean, how do I get that? Because I can't complete my registration because I have basketball clicked also.
So basically, what's going to happen from my understanding, because I've had other officials that had this, is don't worry about your bar will never show 100%. Just
Correct.
make sure you've completed all the requirements for the sport you're signing up for. And it'll be fine on your sport. Women's basketball was there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, John, this is Ken. Real quick
Yes, sir.
question in regards to all this information that you see on your screen. So when I go to my home screen, obviously I have different associations, Coastal with Hendricks, JJ, RTP, and so forth. So if I go into JJ's, which is mine, RTP, it says revisit paperwork, and it says my upgrade demographics for 2022-23 is done. And I don't see any type of test or anything being labeled there as
It's
not
because,
done.
it's
And then
because you have to go to the NCHSAA one at the top.
Okay, well, I'll try that in a second, but one extra question is, when I go in to update my sports, there's two icons there, 2022-23 women's lacrosse and the 2022-23 women's lacrosse varsity. And when I try to select the varsity, it says it's not, registration not open for varsity women. But my standard 2022-23 women's lacrosse is checked.
Ken, I just looked at that. They're doing that for every sport is showing that, but you're showing,
Okay.
you're getting Dragonfly messages like I've sent out, right?
Yes.
So that means you're showing up on JJ's roster.
Okay.
So you're good there. You're registered. I just checked it and it's showing that for every sport pretty much because
I
varsity
understood.
football.
Okay. So you're saying go into the North Carolina High School Athletic Association to see all those tests?
Yeah, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association is going to show it. Now, for U.S. lacrosse people who are women, there is no showing up of that test on the women's side. Remember, that's
okay.
on the women's side, we take the USA lacrosse exam. If you're not a member of U.S. lacrosse and you do women's, you need to contact JJ and he will send you a copy of the U.S. lacrosse test, or you need to be on our clinic on February 11th where we're going to review that test.
Okay. But if you're a member, you can just go to their website and take the test from there, right?
Yeah, if you're a member, take the test from there and send JJ a copy of your score. You got to have an 80 to be eligible for playoffs, 75 to be eligible for varsity. Exam, Ernie, there was a question on
John, that's eligible. 75 is for high school, junior varsity and varsity.
John, did you say the exam clinic is on the 11 or the 12?
I'll check and make sure because I may be second guessing myself.
Saturday, yeah, the 11 is Saturday. Sunday is the 12th.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the 11th, but I'll make sure. Before we end, I'll check.
Sure, thank you.
And we're going to pass out the dates for all the spring sports because some of them they vary on the testing.
Yeah, and that's a women's lacrosse state exam review. Ernie, the question was soccer exam. If they took it in the fall, they don't need to worry about doing part 2. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you, sir. In case y'all haven't figured out, we have a lot of different sports that are on here at this time. We're trying to help multiple associations and multiple sports. Errol, were your people able to get in? Are we good to continue or?
Yes. I got all but one, and Robert Gilliam's on, and I got Ronald Norris and Roger Palmer. I got most of them in except for one person I'm waiting for, Laurie, but he'll catch up on the review.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going to continue on if there's no more questions about the registration and test process.
You got your speaker up loud? Yeah, it's wide open. Set this anywhere else you can go to get rid of this.
Ernie, there's a question in the chat. I'll let you get that if you don't
show
mind.
anything.
All right, I'll look at it.
Thank you, sir.
And
All right,
Ron, go ahead, John. He just muted. Thank you.
All right. So if you will, the next thing when you come in, now we're going to look at this side toolbar. Now your toolbar is not going to be exactly the same as mine because I have additional buttons, but the ones that are important for you. All right. First, we're going to talk about is my money. All right. This is where you get your pay from Dragonfly. So when you come in here, it's going to say your name and general fund. So when you click on withdraw, which I don't have any money to withdraw, so that's going to be a problem. So let me go over here. If you go to manage accounts, This is where you're going to put in your banking account information. This is what I encourage you to do very soon, as quickly as you can, because it does take between 1 and 3 days to get this process completed and you to get money on your account. So to do this, you will hit add new account. It's going to pull up all this information. Are you depositing into a personal or a business account? What type of account is it? Checking or savings? You would fill all this information out. And then once you get to the bottom of it, you would hit save. All right. So that once you do that, it's going to ask you to verify micro deposits. The micro deposits will be deposited into your bank account. They're normally not, they're under $1. One might be 8 cents and one might be 10 cents. It's going to have 2 of them. Once they have done that, you'll come back to this page, and where that check mark where it says verified, it will not be checked. You will click back on it and type in those 2 micro deposits. Once you have done that, that is when it will show up green and you will be able to get money from your account. My money, this thing was showing withdrawal, will be blue, and you can click it if you have money here. Now, the good news about this, if you're used to Dragonfly, if you didn't have a Dragonfly pay, the school could not pay you. That is not the case. I mean, an Arbiter pay could not pay you until you set up your Arbiter pay. Dragonfly, the schools can still pay it, but it's just going to sit here until you put your banking account information. It won't let you withdraw it, but the schools will be able to pay you, and it will just sit here until you actually get your bank account information in there and verified. And then once you have done that, you can withdraw the money. Now I'm going to tell you, and we'll talk about it toward the end of this presentation. The app is much easier for this process. If you have the right app, this part of the process is much easier to do on the app. But you can do it here on the computer. Any questions about the money process?
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
If we did this for volleyball, we have to do it over again.
Say that one more time. You broke up on me.
I say, if we did this for volleyball, do we have to do it again?
No, it will keep your account in there.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So, John, we are using both Arbiter and Dragonfly this year for women lacrosse.
Women's lacrosse, you will be using Dragonfly for all the public schools and to get your assignments. But some of the private and middle schools up in the Triangle RTP, and I think, I don't want to comment on other sports because I don't know.
John,
they use
John, if you
Arbiter
will, right, because John, at the end, when the regional supervisors, we will tell the groups what we're going to do, because that way make it simple, because we got everybody on the call, because some are just Dragonfly, some are both. So Martha, if your regional supervisor will let you know.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to continue on next. And JJ, if you will, real quick, will you go in and assign me a game? I don't care when, just assign me something.
And
Dragonfly? And Butterfly. And publish it where I can show them what it looks like and how to accept it. I didn't think about that. Thank you, sir. All right. Next, we're going to talk about how to get your cards. These are the cards that will allow you to get into the games if you're not working. One of the things that Cecil Mock, our regional supervisor, or no, excuse me, our director up in the NCHSAA, he put out an email to basketball officials last week. Go ahead and get your cards earlier. Don't wait till the end of the season to do it, because that's when they're the craziest and it's hard to approve. So go ahead and ask for your card to be approved early. So when you click on cards and events.
Hey,
go
John,
ahead.
where do you, is that a enable
Yeah,
or a parameter?
I don't
'Cause
see it.
I don't have that on my list.
Ditto.
All right, hold on. Let me switch to another way.
Okay, thank you.
Give me 2 seconds. Again, hold on. I know how it shows up on yours. My view's a little different. Thank you, Ken, for telling me that. All right. Yours shows up different than mine. So let me bring you back to yours. So you'll go to today, and you'll scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and it'll say my cards. All right, so it'll have all your cards that you have.
Yep, which is none.
Which is none. So I have to hit show more where it shows everything, but you'll see a box that says request another card.
Mhm.
You'll click that button. Dragonfly will take a moment. Then you will find the sports pass that you are trying to apply for. All right. For the sake of this, I am not a wrestling person, so we'll apply for wrestling. All right. Your questions, it's already going to do it. All right. Now, it's going to ask you for a picture. You got to upload an image. So you'll click upload image. You can either take a picture or you can use a picture that is already on your computer. Because I will never use this pick card and it will never get approved. Make sure it's primarily just your head. That's what they're looking at, is more of a headshot than they are everything around. Upload photo. Now, if you don't have a picture on your profile, A, you should do that. B, it's going to ask you to replace that picture if you want. All right. So pictures there. Then you would hit get my card. And it will show up as a pending card.
All right, so
And again, John, what are those used for? What do we use them for?
So Nabil, let's say you're not officiating one day and you want to go see Middle Creek play Holly Springs. Then this card, you will show them at the gate and you get in free.
Got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the cards, you don't get a hard copy. They show up on your app that you have, or you can take a picture of it and save it in your photos. Take a screenshot of it, save it in your photos, and that will get you into the game. Any question about the cards? Now, if you do the cards, you don't have to do this because it's going to ask you to do it anyway. But if you don't, yes, sir, Rodney. Oh, sorry. All right. Up here, there'll be a silhouette. It'll just be a white picture of a white face and gray around it. If you click on that, it's going to ask you to again, either take a picture or upload one from your device. Once you do this, that updates your profile picture. Any questions on how to upload your picture or about cards? All right, we're moving on. Next tab that is important for you is assignments. This is where you're going to see your assignments, but also where you put in your blocks. So, as you can see, I have updated. I already have assignments that I've accepted. It's showing up green. All right, down here at the bottom, I have another assignment, which Mr. White just sent me. Now, you can hit accept or reject. If you hit reject, it's going to ask you for a reason. That reason will be sent to your regional supervisor. But if you update your blocks, that reject button should be used at a minimal. So I accept the game. It goes from red, blue to green, and that means I'm on that game. Now, let's actually look at the game. So it tells you who they are, how far away from it is, and how much the pay is. I'm going to go to a pass game because that's better to look. All right. It has you accepted. Now, also on this card, it's going to tell you whether or not you got paid for that game if they use Dragonfly Pay. Some schools will use Arbiter Pay. As Errol said, we'll talk about which is which at the end. Some schools will use a check on site. If they do that, this will never show up. It will just say total pay. But if they pay via Dragonfly, once they have paid, it's going to show up paid beside it. Now, these little icons up here are important, especially if your name's John Owens as of lately. John Owens has been going to the wrong school because he doesn't use this little button. So if you click this little button, that little button on the app will take you, give you directions on your phone to get you to your directions if you have a smartphone. But if you click on the card, it's going to open this information sheet up. It's going to tell you who assigned that game, who your partners are. All right. If you click on, it tells you their phone number and information. If you click on it, it will give you more information on those officials. Gives you your partner's information. Then it will give you the people who are associated information. This is like the athletic director for Lumberton, because the school was at Lumberton. It'll also give you the AD for Douglas Byrd. It'll some schools will have their coaches in. They'll have the principals, everybody. But it gives you contact information for the people at the school. Now, I'm going to do part of this, but I cannot do all of this. All right. If for some reason you have an ejection or a DQ, your first answer is you call your regional supervisor and tell them I have an ejection or a DQ. They will, and then you tell them what happened. Y'all will talk about it and y'all will come up with what is the narrative. Once that is done, you'll come here and hit add document. You will click ejection report. All right. I'm going to show you one, but I cannot click it here. All right. So we're going to pretend I hit click. And I'm going to show you what an ejection report looks like. Errol, do you care which one I use? I don't want to click on one if you don't want me to use it. I'm trying to find one of mine quickly.
No, any basket, any want to work.
All right, good. We'll just go right here. All right, so this is what the ejection report looks like. Again, this is for basketball. but I have to use a old one in order to show you. If not, all the ADs will get notified. Because once you hit add and hit ejection report, your regional supervisor will get notified. The state of North Carolina gets notified. The athletic director for that school, the home school, and the athletic director from the visiting school all get notified that you have started an ejection report. All right, you'll put the name of the regional supervisor and then your name. You'll select eject or DQ. Then the school affiliation. If you start typing the name of the school, it's going to pop up. Just click the school name and it will pop up. Click the little calendar button. It'll put the contest date in there. And if I remember right, I think the contest date already pulls up. The role of the ejected person, either athlete, coach, or other. First name of the person ejected, last name, player's number. If it's a coach, it ain't gonna ask you for the player's number. Reason for ejection or disqualification. All right, these are the deadly sins. I'll show you what they look like. Leaving the bench. Bob and Carol Powell, I will answer that when we get to the app. Yes, there are multiples. All right, these are the ones that are the automatic ejections for the state. Leaving the bench area, fighting, taunting or baiting, obscene gestures, profanity, disrespectfully addressing or contact an official, spitting on or toward an opponent, coach, or officials, biting, and flagrant contact. And other. All right. If you put other, it's going to tell you, ask you why is it a other? What is it then? Then you give the narrative and then you put your name. Then you would hit sign and complete. Once you do that, your part's done. The school and the NCHSA will put in the rest. Any questions about the ejection report? But the most important part is if you have an ejection or a disqualification, before you leave the site or as soon as you leave the site, you need to get up with your regional supervisor. Do not put this into the system until you have talked to your regional supervisor.
So it's kind of like the next couple hours after the incident take place?
You have 24 hours to put it in.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I'm getting out of this one. So that is the detail about assignments. That's how you could do your assignments. Now, for women's lacrosse people, I talked to Dragonfly. They're rolling out something new this week. It's supposed to be after add documents. You're supposed to be hopefully to add a picture of the match report that JJ will talk about tonight. We will see if that's the case, but that's what they're saying. They're trying to get that out, and they're trying to have a note section. So if you had yellow cards, you can put that in. All right. And thank you, regional supervisors, for answering some of these questions as we go. All right, we're going to move on. Over here, the next session says My Blocks. This is where you will put your blocks in and tell when you're available. You do this by hitting Create Block. Now, we're going to go through all these options up here. All right. First of all, we're going to go with the ones that you probably shouldn't touch, or if you do, it should be very minimal. Conflicts. If your daughter, son goes to a school, you probably shouldn't be reffing that school. You shouldn't be reffing that school. Then you would hit block school. I'll take this out as soon as we do it. You'll search for the name of the school. I put in Union High School. If your daughter plays women's lacrosse and you officiate football and you don't think that's a conflict of interest and you've talked to your regional supervisor and they don't think it's a conflict of interest, you could just come in and select women's lacrosse. If your daughter plays on JV but not varsity, you could even get to the point where you select JV or varsity. Again, have that conversation with your regional supervisor. Then you're going to put, why is the reason? Conflict of interest. Now, I'm going to tell you, every supervisor I know, if you put personal, they expect you to call them and let them know. Don't surprise them and just put personal. And here's part 2 of this. The regional supervisor can override these blocks anyway. But if you click personal, you need to let the regional supervisor know why that is personal. And then you would hit add. And then it's going to show up as a conflict. If when she graduates, you just hit the trash can and you delete it. Now, depending on regional supervisors, you can block officials, other officials. I know most of them don't let you do this. But if they do, this is how you do it. You would block officials, click next, which select the sport. Then you start typing in their name, JJ White. There you go. I'm blocking JJ White. I don't want to work with JJ White. I hit add, and it puts a block up there. Again, if you're going to block an official, let your regional supervisor know why. Because, first of all, your regional supervisor may not let you do this. Secondly, if they do, they need to know why. Third, if you don't let them know why, they can override. They can just override this block anyway. Now, the more common blocks that we need to create. Or excuse me, let's do one more. Distance. If you ain't going to travel over a certain area, first of all, you're going to limit the games that you're available to do. You're going to limit yourself. If you put 10 miles from your house and you only get 3 games, it's because you put 10 miles from your house. All right. So this is where you can put in your distance. You can select the days on it. You can put what times on there. My suggestion, don't put anything in here. Just leave that column alone. But it's there if you need it. Blocks. If you want, now we're on to the blocks. How you actually tell the regional supervisors you're not available. All right. And remember, this is all on the assignments page. You can select a certain sport. Let's say I am going to ref a soccer game for Ernie and I need to block all baseball. That's we'll use that. I leave it as I select what level I won't be available from 2-5, from 8 to 10. It's only going to block me for baseball. So Ernie can still get it. Ernie will still see me as available. And then I hit save block. It's going to show up on my list. Now, if you work every day from 8 to 3, all right, or you work certain days 8 to 3, that's your normal schedule. Like when I taught, I could not work. I could not work between 8 and 3:30 Monday, or actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8, and I would put in what time I could work till, or I work till. And then I would hit save block. Notice I didn't select Monday because Monday I get out of work early. So I put save. That blocks me on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Create block. I'm coming back under recurring. All levels. Tuesday, I won't be available on Monday from 8 to 2:30. Now my blocks will show up that on Monday, I'm not available from 8 to 2:30. and 8 to 3:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, here's what I'm also going to tell you about this. If you plan to take a mental health day, or for me, we had teacher work days and I was free all day. The only way you can make yourself available using this is you'd have to delete these and then go back and re-put them back in. So that's one thing they're working on. I talked to one of the guys at Dragonfly the other day. They're working on fixing that feature so that you wouldn't lose that in the future. All right, any questions on blocks? All right. Now what we're going to cover is the app. That was the question. I'm telling you, I love the app. I think it's a great thing that is done. And it's very user-friendly in my opinion. We all have a right to an opinion, but in my opinion, it's very user-friendly. So I'm going to show you, when you look for it in the app center, you're going to need to type, you could type Dragonfly, that'll work, or you could type Center for Officiating Services. And I'm pulling it up so you can see what, there are 2 of them. Actually, there are more than 2 now. But the one you need to use is the logo that's on the screen right now. Center for Officiating Services. It's got the Dragonfly logo and the NFHS logo. Let me stop sharing so you get a bigger picture of it. Center for Officiating Services. Now, when you go into that app, mine's loading up and I'm trying to get it where you can see a bigger view, especially for the video.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get that one you said, but
Yes.
I had one called Dragonfly Max, which give me access to my account. Am I supposed to get rid of that?
Yes,
And-
it's old and they are not updating it anymore.
Fair enough. Thank you.
So, let me get to the new messages. The 2 logos are the NFHS shield and a hurricane. That is the logo that is there. All right. When you get in there, and again, sorry, this is the only way. You're going to have 4 buttons on the end at the bottom. These are the most important 4 buttons in there. The first one is going to say games. The next one says blocks. Then you got pay. And then you have cards. We're going to go to cards first because that's the easiest. That's what's going to show up your game card. You'll click on it. Let's say I want to get into a soccer game. I would find the soccer pass, click on it, and it brings up my soccer pass on my phone. This is where if you can take a screenshot of it and save it in your pictures, or you could just open this up whenever you need it. Any questions on how to open up your cards on the app? All right, we'll continue. The next tab we can look at is the money sign. That's what everybody likes. They want to get paid. You'll click on it. It's going to bring up your ledger line. It's going to show you when you got paid, when you took money out. Just like it's on the screen. At the top, where mine has 000, you will see how much money you have not pulled into your account. So if I got paid by Lumberton for my basketball game on Friday night, that would say $154. And I want to take it out, you would hit withdraw, that down arrow. Then it's going to come up. Withdraw to a bank account. Edit SECU. That's my account. Or add a bank account. Now, this is where I will tell you, if you do your pay, it's easier to insert your checking account on your phone through the app to me. And everybody I walk through it, they can do it on their phone quicker than they can do it on the computer. So if you wanted to add a bank account, you just click add a bank account. If you wanted to withdraw money, you would just hit the top button, withdraw to bank account. Then it'll say, come up like this, request a payout. The top line, you would put your money. The second line, you would hit the drop down button. It would pull up what accounts you have saved. Select which one you want. And then you would hit request. Now I got no money, so I can't hit request. Any questions about that? And I will say this, it seems to be faster in Dragonfly than it was in Arbiter, at least for me. I get my money within a day normally. Next, blocks. You click on the block schedule at the bottom. Then it's going to pull up the exact same screen that you saw on the computer that we went through. You do the exact same process. You hit create block down here. And it looks exactly like the computer screen. And everything processes exactly the same. Games. It's going to show up. Again, you can scroll down. I have a scrimmage at Union Pines. And so that's taking the majority of it. Then you can see I have my latest game. Then you click on it. You can accept and reject on here. You click on it, it's going to show up the same information, but you got these icons at the top. Is key people, details, documents, and officials. So if you want to know who the key people are, who are the ADs, you would go key people and it would show you who the ADs are and who assigned it. I assigned this one as because it's a scrimmage. I brought it over. All right. Officials. If you click on that tab, it's going to tell you who the officials are, if it's assigned or if they accepted it. Details. Now, this is the important part, especially for when you get into postseason. Make sure you click view in maps down here. When it says facility, view in maps. It's going to pull up your a way to get there. It's going to give you the directions. That's important to make sure you go to the right school. The host school or the home team is not always the school that is being played at. Women's lacrosse officials. This is important when we have super sites up in Raleigh. Make sure you are checking the facility, that you are going to the right place. Documents. Right here, you would create documents. This is where you would put an ejection, but don't put ejections on your phone. That's when we make mistakes. But this is also where if they have the notes page, you'll be able to upload the notes and the JPEG of the game reports. So that is the quick overview of Dragonfly. There's a question in the chat about, can I show the logo again? Here's the logo, what it looks like. And the title of it is Center for Officiating Services. Any other questions or concerns before I turn it to the regional supervisors, who will tell you what they use and how they, if they use Arbiter, Dragonfly Pay, or anything like that?
I do have a question, but this is only me, I guess. It's showing in the app, it's showing my games, but it's showing CHS, Cary High School. I guess my daughter in the past and I shared the same account. How do I delete that? You know, like another circle on top left.
Nabil,
If you're looking at games, so I need to talk to somebody on this side. I don't want to hold the meeting for this.
hey, Nabil, show me that tonight.
Sure.
And I'll, if I can't fix it tonight, I will get you a solution.
Yeah, it's not bothering me. I thought just for being clean, I guess. Thank you.
Miss Wilson, will we still receive emails through the new app? Yes, it will send you notifications on there. Yeah, so you could delete it. The new app will send you push notifications from the state and from Ernie whenever he sends them out via Dragonfly. Any other questions? And the app, if you have the app, it will notify you if you have a new game. It will notify you when your partners have accepted the game. And it will notify you if the game is changed, like if the time's changed or if the game is canceled. It will send you the push notifications. It's not a text. So you may have to look at your notifications to see if you've gotten anything. Any other questions? All right, regional Arrow, I'll let you go ahead. If you will tell how what you use, Dragonfly, Orbital, the details or any closing remarks you may have.
Yeah, it's me now, John. John,
Yes, sir.
am I out?
Yep, your turn.
All right. Look, for those that do Southeastern, whether you do football, basketball, or softball, 100% Dragonfly. Everything I've done this year on Dragonfly. I would tell you, for everybody on the call, hey, exercise some patience. What I mean by that is Dragonfly is new to the schools, the regional supervisors, and also to you. Some aspects of it is user-friendly, some not so. One thing is that you can assign, as an assigner, we can assign you to 2 places at the same time. So make sure if you get that, if you see that, just notify the regional supervisor. Some things we can see a lot easier on the Arbiter as an assignment system versus Dragonfly. So exercise some patience. One thing for the Southeastern, the sports that I supervise, you can get paid every day that day. You're either gonna get paid by the school on Dragonfly or the school by check. And if those schools, if it's a school that does not pay, I, as a regional supervisor, will pay you within 24 hours. So you'll have that. And that is, the software is very, like I say, user-friendly, as John said earlier, to track getting your account set up is key. I mean, like I say, the pay will be there, but in order to transfer it from the Dragonfly platform to you, must have that account set up. Exercise your blocks. And there's one of the things for the regional supervisors, we can override any blocks that you have. So again, but it helps tremendously when you update your blocks. Other than that, like I say, just exercise some patience as we go through this here. If you have something, just share it with the region supervisors. I mean, we come a long way from the fall and where we are now, we're going to the spring, as in getting those notifications out, the reminders, the pay, all those things are out. Now, the pay can be incorrect. So if you notice something about the pay when you get your assignment that's incorrect, just shoot an information to the region supervisors and we'll make adjustments. Okay. If you have no questions for the for me as far as the Southeastern, that's particular to for softball, somewhere in there you got in the chat there was something there where you had to sign in to get credit for this particular meeting. So make sure you do that. And I have the names of John. So at the end, I'll call off the names that I have that attended for Southeastern softball. And that was John Owens, Alan Randall, Ronald Tyler, Donna Hanna, Richard Goins, Logan Goins, Roger Palmer, Vernon Ulrich, Dan Hines, John Clark, Robert Gilliam, Bobby Lowry, Rodney McDaniel. And I had Bryce. It's two Bryces, Spiegel and the other one. So if you're in Southeastern softball and I didn't call your name, just speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, we must be good.
All right, JJ, your closing remarks, and then we'll get to Ernie.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for participating in this here fine tutorial by Mr. John Owens. Research Triangle Park is a unique character, considering they just announced the regional supervisor about 2 weeks ago. Arbiter is going to be used for the private schools and the middle schools for pay purposes. So I lost that battle because it was such a short notice. All games and assignments will be done through Dragonfly and accepted through Dragonfly. And then John and I will transfer it over to Arbiter and accept them for you there so you can get paid if you have a private school or a middle school game. Other than that, we have a state officials and all officials clinic tonight in Raleigh. So I'll see y'all there. Out.
Ernie, you got any final comments or any concerns or any information you'd like to share with your people?
Concerns for life in general. But for the most part, I will be using both the Arbiter platform and the Dragonfly platform. We have some schools that still will only pay through Arbiter, and that creates a little bit of an issue. So I will always add the games in the Arbiter, and for soccer, the day of, at the latest, you will be also added in Dragonfly for pay purposes for schools that use the Dragonfly paying option only. With regard to Dragonfly and the assigning, unless Dragonfly fixed it, you may be assigned to more than one sport on the same date that may overlap. So I'm not too sure, Errol or JJ, if you can tell me if that was corrected. But right now, I know that that was an issue last year. So I'm mentioning that to make sure that you as the official, if you get a multiple assignment and you mistakenly accept it, make sure you notify one or both of the assigners that, hey, I've got a game here, and it should be the one you accepted originally, not one you accepted afterwards because you saw maybe a little more incentive. But Errol, do you know if that's been corrected?
That has not been corrected. That's a good observation because that can and will happen if they don't. It's not been corrected, Ernie.
And the issue there could be sometimes with us, the assigners, when we override it, we could be talking to you, you could be driving and you say, yeah, I can do that game at 5 o'clock. And then you totally forget that you had a game already scheduled that day somewhere else at maybe 5 o'clock. But we're panicking to get games covered. As usual, we are always looking to recruit. So if you have someone, regardless of the sport, let us know. We'd be glad to get someone involved. The Dragonfly registration platform, I think, has continued to remain open throughout the year. They don't intend to close that. They understand and recognize our shortage of officials. So they are using that open registration to allow us to get more. If you missed the exam in any sport, if missed it, the window is closed. Like for soccer, today the window opens for the exam for folks that have not had a fall soccer exam score. If you've already taken the exam, you do not take another one. If you have not taken an exam, you may start it tonight, but we have an in-person clinic in Fayetteville at Fayetteville Academy starting at 5 for registration. Remember, those of you that are members of associations, you must be a member of an association, and those are usually minimum fees compared to the high school association. If you plan on being a first-time sport registered official, you only have to pay your sport fee will be waived, but your insurance and $30 something fee will still be applied. So I have nothing else. And for those of you that may have questions, shoot me a text. We're not going to keep everybody online to hear about soccer. It's a multi-sport. Thank you, John, for doing this. Thank you, everyone, for attending. For soccer, we'll see you tonight, approximately 5 to 7:30. That's it.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming out. If like the regional supervisor said, if you have questions about Dragonfly or if you have questions about anything, your RSOs are there for you to help answer questions. And if I can be any help to you, just let me know and I'll be happy to try to help you too. Hope you have a great night. Soccer officials, Ernie will see you at 5 at Fayetteville Academy. And RTP women's lacrosse officials, we will see you at Cardinal Gibbons, me and JJ, at 6 o'clock. And if you are a softball official, you got a clinic on Monday night. And if you're a men's lacrosse official, you got a clinic on Monday night also. Have a great night.
Hey, John.
See you later. Yes, and
Real quick. Yeah, this is Mike. Where at Cardinal Gibbons is this being held?
In the auditorium.
Okay. See you there. Thank you.
See you then.
Hey, John.
Yes.
This is Ron. I got distracted a while ago when Errol was calling out the names and I didn't know what
Yes, Ronald Tyler, you're the third name I called.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Hey, Raleigh officials, make sure you park in front of the school if you're still there.
Errol, this is Daryl Spivey. I finally got on. Once I found out where the email went to.
Okay, now Daryl, it's gonna be this is gonna be recorded as well. I got you on the list.